If you've got some of these symptoms, like being very gassy and bloated after eating, maybe you've got some thyroid issues happening, autoimmunity, allergies, a lot of food sensitivities, maybe you have a leaky gut. Well, the good news is I've got 8 tips that are all natural for leaky gut, and they are so powerful and they work so well. Okay, tip number 1 is to follow Mother Nature's prescription. Okay, what is this? This is optimizing your circadian rhythms to be in tune with nature. And it's really interesting for the fact that even our microbiome, but our organ systems, our digestive tract, have clock mechanisms that tie into both the light and dark cycle of the day. Now, when we're messing up our circadian rhythms, and maybe we don't have a regular sleep schedule, maybe we've got artificial lights on at nighttime when it should be dark, this will also upset your gut function and can be a huge and major causative factor when we're talking about leaky gut. Okay, tip number 2 for leaky gut is to stop snacking. Now, there's something called the migrating motor complex, and this is important because in times of low insulin, no food intake, this is when that migrating motor complex does its job to move your food through your digestive tract. When you're always snacking between meals, this is going to mess up the proper timing in your circadian biology in terms of having proper digestion, so you want to do your best to not snack and maybe have just 2 to 3 good-sized meals per day. Okay, tip number 3 for leaky gut is to reduce your EMF exposure and block that blue light exposure at night. So artificial lights tend to be higher in that blue light. This means your screens as well, and they also emit EMFs. And other EMFs, whether that's from your cell phone and other Wi-Fi, your other devices that could be in your home, in your environment, can offset your proper gut microbiome. And this is something that is really important, which is my tip number 4, is to optimize that good, healthy microbiome. Having enough of the good guys, the probiotics, becomes very important and very much linked to what's happening in your environment. Getting outside in nature is another way to optimize that microbiome. Touching things like leaves and trees and the grass and the sand helps to optimize that microbiome to make sure that you've got enough of your good guys, your probiotics, and not so many of the bad guys, whether that's the intestinal worms, the parasites, the candida, and bad bacteria, which we know can be very much related to that leaky gut and damaging of the gut lining wall. Okay, tip number 5 for leaky gut is to optimize your selenium or selenium levels. And a great thing to do is eat 2 to 3 Brazil nuts per day to give you the required daily amount of that selenium, which what it does is it helps to repair those tight junctions in your gut. Another way to do this is to supplement with a natural selenium. It's something that is actually in the protein powder that I take, which is amazing because it's very reparative to that leaky gut, getting it, of course, from a natural whole food source. Okay, tip number 6 for leaky gut is to get more natural sunlight exposure. What does this mean? This means especially at sunrise to program all of your clock mechanisms. Remember, for your circadian biology, really important to see that early morning sunlight. This also means midday sun, so that UVA and UVB, which peaks, of course, in the middle of the day, really important for our gut microbiome and its clock mechanisms, as that's related to having a healthy gut. And of course, as the sun is setting, so those infrared and red rays from the sun, especially exposing your abdomen to that sunlight, very reparative to your actual digestion and that leaky gut. Okay, tip number 7 is to avoid toxic ingredients in your food, even in your vitamins, as much as possible. Some of the things to look out for, of course, glyphosate, as well as GMO foods. In vitamins, you've got to avoid the fillers, things like microcrystalline cellulose, cross-carmylose sodium, magnesium stearate, which is in most supplements. It is a flow agent, and it's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption and can actually damage your gut wall lining. And tip number 8 for leaky gut is to consider some of the best supplements. And again, always concentrating on whole food supplements. I do have a list of 7 of my best supplements for leaky gut in another video, so I want you to check that out. And let me know if you've got questions about leaky gut. I want to hear from you in the comments. I'll see you there.